Okay, just for giggles, this is a tour of my hangar space in my son's old bedroom. He's now left home for quite some time. So here we go. It's a little crazy in here, but I thought you might enjoy having a look around. I decided to get involved in radio control aircraft, as a lot of people did, to pick up a hobby during the awful COVID lockdowns. I'd always wanted to learn how to fly radio control, so during one of the breaks in lockdowns I joined a model club and I got started. And some of the models I bought up and I knew I couldn't fly them at the time. Others, I've flown them to death basically and learned how to fly models fairly competently, I hope now. So this is what we've got. There's a mixture of some kit built, some scratch built, some refurbished, some foamies, some nitro, some balsa. So I'll give you a quick guided tour. We'll start with the stuff that's hanging up. This is a foam, I believe it's a Flightline 109 in Arctic colours. I'm yet to fly that. A Texan, which is a floaty model on 3S. It was handed to a friend who passed it on to me, and I sort of painted it up, and it flies really nicely, although very, very floaty. That's a Tempest, I believe. Flies really well, but the difference in trim between undercarriage down and undercarriage up is quite startling. You have to be on your toes for that. There's a Ripmax P51, which is a hand launch model, and once I'd figured out it needed 4S and a bigger motor in it, it's a really exciting model to fly, but you have to be on your toes with the tip stall. It doesn't like the speed dropping down too low. Behind it there is an Arrows Viper. I must admit that ADF jets aren't my thing. I've tried a couple. It's okay, but I think flying on without a rudder I find quite difficult. I don't enjoy it as much, and the very short flight times I find frustrating. Christian Eagle, a smaller version, electric, balsa built kit. I'm yet to fly that. I've been put off by the spats, which might have to come off. I fly from grass, and I think they'll be a bit of a nightmare. There's a sort of gaggle of wings here from various models. Chaos there, which was built from outer zone plans, and that's the fuselage for the Chaos. A nice brand new 10cc motor in it, and it's a really beautiful flying model. It goes where you point it, and I think that's why it was so popular back in the 70s. I'm yet to really wring that out and get the best out of it, but I'm getting there. This model was passed on to me. It's P47. It's the only model I fly that's got any stabilisation built into it, and I must admit I find it a bit odd. I feel a bit disconnected when I fly it, but it does fly very, very well. Next to it is a vintage model that I built 42 years ago as a free flight model, and Mark Robson got me interested in getting involved in vintage models again, so I recovered this one. It runs off diesel engine up front. It's a bit of a quiet taste, the smell. 2-channel. It goes virtually vertical on that engine. Engine cuts and it glides down, and you can hunt thermals. I've actually managed a 6-minute flight with a 20-second engine run on that, and it was really great fun. Down below here, P51. That's FMS. Beautiful, big, beautiful doll. I haven't flown it yet. I will fly it this year. I did buy models I knew I couldn't fly at the time, but I took them to one side with the intention of flying when I felt more confident. I think I'm ready for this now. The extra behind it is one of my favourite planes. It's a Park Zone model. It had a bit of a bad reputation. People said the wings were upside down because of the aerofoil. But it's basically the model I learned to fly low wing on. And it's very predictable. It does what you want it to do, and a lot more than I'm capable of doing. It's been in a tree. It had a rebuild. It had another crash when I reversed the aileron throws. But it's a great model. It's a go-to model that I pick up and throw in the car if I'm not sure what I want to fly. The Bearcat behind it in French colours. Really nice model. Enjoy flying it. I haven't flown the Stuka. It's a model that I was given really. It's one I'll probably try to fly. Or the Flightline Sea Fury. Beautiful model. I'll have to get that into the air this year. This is a model I built from plans from Outer Zone. It's the vintage Elf 150 because it's 1.5 times the size of the Free Flight. It's a real handful to fly. Very quirky characteristics. I think you need to keep the airspeed up a little, but I'm sure I'll get there with practice. It's going to be a fun model to explore. Here's the Tiger Moth, a Hobby King Tiger Moth, which is a lovely model that flies really well. It's got an odd sort of covering on it that responds quite erratically to temperature changes, but it looks really nice once it's in the air. Behind it is another extra. This one has a 10cc motor up front. Flies as the electric one does, only with a bit more punch. They're the wings for a Fokker D7, but in finished colours. It's got to be my favourite model to fly. It's a flare kit. I like it so much that I've actually managed to pick up another kit, which I'm going to build in different colours. I'm going to do it in German colours. The swastika always causes controversy, although it has no connection to the Nazi swastika. It was the Finnish emblem adopted by the Finnish Air Force around about 1917, 1918. Behind that is another project that's awaiting a flight. It's a Hawker Demons, another biplane. I'm really hooked on the biplanes. With a OS 4-stroke 15cc, I believe, up front. Here's a Buffalo, which is a hand-launched model and really zips through the air, runs on 3S 2200s, really handy. Nitro Trainer, which I refurbished. And here's a model that I built and flew this year. It's the Perpetuo, which is basically a vintage design, or inspired by vintage models, and flies majestically on a 4-stroke 30 engine. And the model up here is a Cessna TTX Hobby King, which I actually won when I was on Dad's RC hangar. It was donated to a draw courtesy of Stuart Warren of Hobby King. And I think actually this was the first low wing model I ever flew. And I've just started flying it again recently. It's great fun to fly. You do need the flaps to unstick it from the ground, but great fun. And here is a project which is a model railway layout, which I'm busy with, which is all inspired by local buildings, and the buildings are all housed in here ready for the project. And in the corner there, underneath all that lot, is an exhibition layout which I've had on the circuit on a number of occasions. So there you go. I know people like to see other people's sort of collections. This is my madness. And I think I've got a bit of a magpie instinct about me. I collect things that I like the look of. I've resisted buying any more models, although I must admit I've got 3 kits, 1 on the go and 2 more waiting to be built. So bye for now. Hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your modelling, enjoy your flying.